Stay connected at urbanmusicreport.com for the hottest music features and videos, fashion reports, sports stories, entertainment news, and technology updates at urbanmusicreport.com. Stay connected.
We're going to lighten it up a bit, and we're going to have somebody that I really respect and adore.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. My friend and a colleague. Can I say that?
That's
We're
right,
colleague?
yes,
Yeah, colleague.
yes.
We work together and do a lot of things here in the house community here in Atlanta. But before we start that conversation, I just wanted to give people a little background about what Real Chicks Rock is all about. It's all about empowering women through various different ways. We do it through community service. We do it through our brand, the t-shirt line. We do it through the arts, and we do it through public speaking and mentoring. And today, again, it's another way that we give back through community service, and we're doing it through the arts platform. And we're always excited to be here and having an opportunity to share our thoughts and have conversations with interesting people here on Instinct Radio. So with that being the backdrop and what RCR is all about, I just want to kind of get into it today. Today, my guest is none other than Stan Zeff.
Oh, that's my name, yes. Can I call you Dorsey on the show?
Yes, you can call me Dorsey
Okay,
on the
all
show.
right.
You say it. Nobody says it like
No
you,
one
so
says-
you
okay,
could
Dorsey.
you could do that. You could
Okay,
do that.
there you go.
So so we're going to talk about a couple of different things. And for those that are listening, if you guys want to call in and join in the conversation, the number is 478-569-6474. That's 478-569-6474. Stan, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
I'm
Thanks for
glad
inviting me.
Yes, glad to have you here. I want to talk to you about so many different things, but I want to start from the beginning, right?
Okay.
I want to talk about.
How far back are we going?
I want to go back to you being in London, right?
Okay.
You're born and raised in London, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So, what was it like for you being a kid in the UK, in London in particular?
Well, first of all, I come from a West Indian background.
Okay.
So I'm first generation West Indian in England.
Really?
So my parents came from St. Lucia in the 1950s and came over to England looking for work with more money and stuff. And they was really young and they just, but my father is a visionary.
Okay.
And so he had the bright idea of moving from inner city London to outside of London to the suburbs, which is where I was brought up.
Okay.
So I was in a predominantly white area,
Really?
neighborhood.
Okay.
So I had the challenges of being a minority, a real minority in a white area, as well as being from a very conservative West Indian background.
Right,
So
right.
it was kind of challenging.
Okay. Brothers and sisters?
3 brothers, 3 sisters.
Wow. So it's a
Yes.
big family.
It's a big family.
So you guys are in London. You're growing up. It's an early time, right? So you're a young kid. What kind of music did you guys listen to?
All across the board. Everything from the Electric Light Orchestra to the Beatles to Marvin Gaye to Freddie McGregor,
Right.
Bob Marley. We listened to all of it.
Everything.
Jim Reeves, country music, country western,
Really?
everything.
Everything.
Yeah, everything.
So very diverse musically.
Very diverse.
Are you
Yeah.
a musician? Do you play an instrument by any chance?
I started off playing trumpet,
Really?
yes, trumpet,
Yeah.
and then drums. Yeah.
Did you have a love for one or the other?
Drums, obviously.
Yeah.
That appealed to me more.
Yeah.
But the trumpet. And I was in the boys' brigade as well, so I played the bugle. So
Really?
the brass thing has got something to do with me somewhere, but it didn't last long.
Like
It was-
horns.
right?
Sound,
Yeah.
horns, blowing, wind
Right.
instrument, that type of
Right.
thing. And
Yes.
then the
There you
drums
go.
was the love.
Yes.
Did you play it in school or was it just kind of like home? Like
Both
Really?
in school and at home. My older brother had a band. Okay, so because we was a large family in a smallish house, we had what we called the boys' room and the girls' room. So all 4 boys were in one room, and my brother had a band. My older brother had a band. So believe it or not, there's 4 boys in a room
Yes.
plus a band, and all the band
Wow.
members used to come around and practice on Sunday afternoons.
Wow.
So that was kind of my first introduction
To music. How old were you when that happened? Roughly. Was it 10, 12, or a little
Something
younger?
like that.
So
Yeah.
just pre-teen age.
Pre-teen age.
And you
yeah.
just was like, I want to start. Did you self-teach yourself, or you just kind of, you had lessons, or what?
Yeah, probably, self-taught.
Self-taught. So you
Yeah.
have a musical ear.
Yes.
And, and that's going to pay off as we continue the conversation. So
Yes.
that's London. And so then we're there and we're growing up, and then there's music. When was it that you had exposure to like a party event? Like, when did you go out? Did you go out with your older brothers and they say, come on, Stan, come with us, we're going to the scene, or what?
Okay, well, I got 2 elder brothers, and it was quite funny because when I was growing up,
Mm-hmm.
in our boys' room, my eldest brother was into reggae, and my older brother was into funk, soul, disco,
Wow.
all that kind of stuff. So back in the 70s, there was a big divide between reggae heads and soul heads. So, my eldest brother used to say, you soul boys, all you do is sweat up. You go in the party and sweat, and I just in the party and I take it cool. So part of in the bedroom was reggae music, and the other part was soul. My older brother, who was into soul, he was a DJ.
Right.
So he had all the equipment. So as well as all the band stuff, he had DJ equipment in there as well. So I used to help him lift boxes, carry records and stuff like that when
Wow.
he used to do his gigs.
Wow.
So that was my first introduction to music.
Wow.
And
So,
my eldest brother, he used to collect reggae music as well. So he had lots of vinyl.
so you were a crate boy. You were the record guy.
The box boy, that's what they used
The
to call
box boy. I've
The
seen
box boy.
that in some of your descriptions of
him. Right,
you're the box boy.
the box boy.
So that's
yeah.
where it came from.
That's where it came from.
So
Yeah.
when did you know? Like, when did you first? Because I assume you first DJ on vinyl. Is that a safe
Yes.
assumption?
Mhm.
So when did you first put the needle to the record? When did it happen for you?
I can't even remember.
Really?
Because I somehow came across an old record player. I can't remember where I got it from, but it was mine. And I was still in school, so I must have been about 12, 13.
Really?
So I was collecting vinyl, and I had this record player, and I used to just play music.
Just play
And it
music.
was one of those ones where you used to stack up the vinyl.
Yeah, and then
I
it
used
would
to drop
drop,
one.
yes.
So I used to put them in a specific order that I wanted to hear music with, and then it just used to play. And it was, the record players that had the lid, so you used to, when you finish with it, it's just
Yeah,
shut down.
yeah,
and
yeah.
Had the catches at the side and stuff like that. So I had one of those. I can't remember where I got it from. But I do remember one time I was wondering, how does this thing work? So I got a pair of scissors and I cut the mains, and this big spark came up. And it stopped working. So I was like,
Is that the
okay.
engineer background?
That's the engineer background. And the engineer background led me to fix it. So,
So musician, engineer, all in one, doing it
in one.
all.
Yes.
So you were like maybe 12 or 13 when you first really decided to really start playing records just for
Yes.
yourself.
Yeah.
When you were playing this music, how did the family respond? Did they start to dance? Did they sing? Did they say, Stan, what are you doing? Was it ever a question, or was it because it was so many people just let you do your own thing?
Yeah, pretty much they just let me do my own thing. But it was, there was always music. I remember when my cousins came around, they would say, there's always music playing in your house.
Right.
Because we just lived 24/7, literally. When we were sleeping, there was music playing. So, I think my family just went along with the flow. And sometimes we would, just dance, just the kids. We'd just dance in the front room. The West Indian front room that you're not supposed to go into.
Only when company's there.
Only when company's there. We used to sneak in there and play music because that's where the record player was. So we used to go in there, play music and dance and stuff like that.
I know it oh so well because with my mom and grandmother being from Jamaica, it was you can only use certain dishware when
Right.
company came.
Yes.
It can only be in certain rooms.
Right.
And it was the room where you entertained.
Entertained,
And
right.
the kids typically dance and sing, and the older
Yeah.
people got a kick out of it. So I totally understand it. I want to kind of fast forward a little bit to where you're more of an adult, a young adult, and you're in London, and you have this love for music.
Yeah.
And how did it transition? So I want to get an insight or a feel for the very first party you probably DJ'd at.
Okay. I can remember that well.
Can you?
Yes.
How did it go?
Very well, actually.
Really?
What it was is I was at school. So I was about 15 years old. And I was with a group of friends that we all used to collect vinyl. So we said, okay, let's do a party. And so what I did was I went to the local community centre, and I think it was like $50 to rent the...
That's pretty high for back then.
Right, yeah, to rent the hall. It was from like 7 to 11 p.m. on a
Wow.
Friday night, something like that. I got a picture of it somewhere. I have to dig it out. But so what we did, we rented it, and we sold the tickets in the playground. So it was like 50 pence each for a ticket. So we sold tickets in the playground to all our friends and stuff like that. My brother lent me the speakers
Wow.
and the equipment to do it, and we just played.
Since 15.
15, yeah.
You made a profit at 15.
I think we did, yeah.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
You had an overhead probably.
Right, exactly.
You made enough money to pay the 50 that you... Was it a deposit or you had to pay that? Did
It
you
was
get
a
them?
50 in advance. You had to
Yeah.
pay 50 pounds.
Awesome. What
Yeah.
was the turnout like?
It was pretty good. I think it was full, so it was about 50, 60 people there.
Okay.
It wasn't a big place.
Okay.
It was just a little community hall.
Was it always diverse? Was the crowd a diverse
Always,
crowd?
Yeah. It's London. London's very diverse.
Awesome.
So everyone was into the music,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so there wasn't oh, that's for this type of music,
Right.
this type of people,
People.
that type of people. It was
the
all
music.
it was very, very much diverse.
So once it bit you at 15, how often did you start to have parties after that point?
Pretty often, because back in those days it was the culture was sound system. So you had to be part of, well, you didn't have to, but a lot of people were part of, guys especially, you were part of a group, a gang as it were, but it was called a sound system. So a sound system was like a group of 5, 6 guys, and you know, so you had, one of the guys was the technologist. He was the
Right.
one that, you know, build all the amplifiers, put the speakers together and stuff like that. One of the guys was the DJ. Another guy could have been the selector, so he picked out the good music to play that
Wow,
night. And then you
wow.
had a guy that did all the flyers,
Wow.
someone who did the promotions. So it was like a little company that came together, and everyone had their own roles. Another person was on the mic, you know, so
Say one.
that's right. So that was the culture. That was the culture back then. So I
Man.
was very much part of that.
And you rolled with that.
Yes. Yeah.
Did you wear multiple hats in that? Like, because you have a very innate ear for sound. Like, I see you and you're like, you're very particular as to how the sound is. So
Yeah.
did you, at that time, you immediately learned other roles, being part of the sound system crew or team, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't always DJ.
For the most part, I did.
You did.
But I was always interested in electronics, so I used to build amplifiers. You know, just get all the components, because that really used to interest me as well. So I used to do that, and you know, the promotion side. So I used to wear different hats, but primarily I was a DJ,
All the
a
time.
selector. Yeah.
Now, from a selection of music, you guys played whatever. You played reggae, because I've heard you say sometimes in different settings when you get to play, and you get to play what you want, you say, "Man, it reminds me of home."
You're right. Right.
And so when you played anything that you wanted, basically?
Yeah.
Was it more reggae infused or
It was
no?
everything from reggae, soca, soul, hip hop. Used to play across the board.
Right.
Because my eldest brother used to come and hear me DJ a lot.
Really?
So he used to like say, when you go and play, make sure you take a bit of everything in your record box. Because if you see some people over there and they like soca music,
You
they
gotta
ain't
hit
going
'em.
to tell you they want soca music, but you have to look at them and see that.
You gotta
oh
pull
yeah,
'em
they're
in.
soca people.
Yeah.
So I need to play a couple of soca tunes to keep them happy.
Yeah.
Play some rare groove, play some reggae, play some soul.
Yeah.
Even though my primary genre might have been soul, I had to keep everyone happy.
So when did you switch? When did you start to say, I like soul, but I really like this? Did it ever happen for you?
This being house music?
Yes.
Yes, it did. Because what happened was I had a sound system called Shock, right? Shock sound system. And we used to be common in London. We used to play in London a lot. And we also used to travel around the country. And we used to go to Leicester, which is like the Midlands of England.
Okay.
We used to go to Leicester to DJ. So one day I went up there, and we was waiting to go on and play. And the DJs before us were some local guys.
Okay.
And they were playing this stuff called house, right? And I was like, wow, this is crazy, because people were like throwing each other up in the air.
Really?
And they were jumping and throwing each other up in the air and really going crazy for this music. And I was like, what is this music? So when I peeped over the DJ, what he was playing, it had tracks, records on the label.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I've got to check this out. You want to check this out? So when I came back to London, I found a record store that was selling purely house music. There's a guy called Jazzy M, and he used to import all his music from Chicago.
Really?
So I was buying all the tracks.
What were some of the tracks at that time that you purchased? Can you remember?
Jungle Wongs, Fingers Inc. You know, so there was a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Jamie Principle.
Only Chicago, nothing from New York? No?
And New York, yeah. I think New York came a bit later, but
Okay.
it was primarily when I started,
Chicago.
it was Chicago.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So then you got this music. How did you introduce it to your fan base, like to your audience? Was it just a little at a time? How did that go for you?
It didn't go down well.
Really?
At first, it didn't go down well because people used to mock us. Because before we used to play across the board, and in London at that time in the mid '80s was very much rare groove, very much old 1970s obscure music and James Brown, obscure James Brown, a lot of that kind of stuff. So we was the Meters was very much into that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So when we started switching it up and I was playing this house music, people was like, yeah, and we used to call it garage, right? And it was like, yeah, it's just like, in England call it garage, right? And you know, and it was like they used to say, yeah, it's garbage. Garage is garbage. And stuff like that. So they never used to acknowledge what we were playing.
Right. But you kept on.
We kept doing it, and I played in the Notting Hill Gate Carnival.
Nice.
We used to do that every year.
Nice.
And when we introduced house music, we had 3,000 to 4,000 people, right?
Really?
Getting
Yes.
down to this music.
Yeah.
So that's when everyone was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
This is something a bit different.
Okay.
And people are getting into it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it kind of switched from there.
How old were you when that happened? Roughly. Were you paying taxes? Were you paying?
Yes, I was paying probably late, probably early 20s.
Early 20s.
Yeah.
So ready.
19, 20, 21, something like that.
So
Yeah.
you caught the bug. And so
Yes.
did people come and say to you, Stan, that was great. Like, what is that you playing? Did people start questioning you what type of music this was? Did they come up to you and ask you, why are you making this change? Did you get that kind of vibe?
All the time.
They felt like
Yeah.
you were being disloyal to where you
all
came
the
from?
time. It was because it was a change. It was a shift that people didn't really understand, especially when we would where everything was at that time. You had a lot of warehouse parties going on, and there was a specific type of vibe and energy in those warehouse parties, and we would like switching that up, you know. So at around 1988, with what they call the Summer of Love in London. I don't know if you heard of that.
No.
Summer of Love is when house music really took off in London.
Really?
Yeah, and it was the year when Chicago DJs started coming over and stuff like that. So my sound system, we used to play in this warehouse in the centre of London. It was actually on top of the London Dungeons, right? It's called Clink Street. So we played there all summer, you know, Friday and Saturday all summer.
All summer long.
Yeah, and that was a memorable experience because it was like when house music really took off in London, and people was exposed to it, and everyone who was anyone used to go there.
Wow.
Just to hang out.
Just to hang out.
Be there.
So when your party started in London, roughly what time did it start? Was it 9, 8, 10? What time did they start?
Probably around 10.
And go until 1, 2, maybe?
No, morning.
Morning, like 5, 6 in the morning.
Yeah, when we was playing, we always used to see sunrise.
Oh
when we
my
was playing.
gosh.
And that was every weekend.
Ooh.
We used to see the sunrise. So straight after party, we used to get breakfast. So I never used to get in my bed till like 1, 2 in the morning. 1, 2 in the afternoon.
The next day.
Yeah.
And this was Friday and Saturday.
This was Friday
Summer
and
of
Saturday.
'88, all summer,
All
banging
summer.
them out,
Yes.
banging them out.
Yeah, Clink Street.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So when did you know that you loved house music?
When I first heard it.
When you first heard it?
Yeah,
That's when
Yeah.
you said, oh my God, what
Yeah.
is this?
that's right.
I got to get attached
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah. I think it was Marshall Jefferson.
Ooh.
house music.
Yeah.
I think that's what did it for me. Yeah. When I first heard it, I knew,
that was it.
That was
I
it.
think
was
that
hooked.
got everybody.
Right,
I think
yeah.
it was. I have to agree with you. I think the sound that was coming out of Chicago and early parts of parts of New York, it was that kind of echoed, and it was you couldn't get enough of it, and you kept
Right.
playing it over and over and over
Right,
again.
right.
And those soulful R&B people didn't understand what it was that you were listening to.
Right, right.
For me, it was that in conjunction to hip hop, and they were like, "What is that?" And
Right,
so it was
yeah.
really hard, and you kind of have to be a forerunner, a pioneer, kind of
Right.
somewhat, because
Yeah.
you feel like you're walking alone on this thing, but
Exactly.
it's got your soul,
Yeah.
right? You can't let it go, and you're like, this music is just
Yeah.
incredible.
No matter what they say,
No
no matter
matter-
what people said, it was just like I had to do it.
You had to do it.
Had to do it.
You had to do it.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we're going to talk about a little bit more about London, but then what sparked the move from London to the States.
Okay.
All right? We're going
Yeah.
to take a break. We'll come back.
Okay.
Important message for people with IVC filters. Patients that have had IVC filters implanted to prevent blood clots from reaching their heart or lungs may be in serious danger. The FDA warns that pieces of the filter can break off in your vein, tearing your vessels, lungs, or heart, causing serious injury or death. Don't wait for this to happen to you. Call the Guardian Legal Network to speak with an experienced lawyer. If you don't win, you pay nothing.
Call 800-925-1296.
So, you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So, pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid, your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-681-2587.
Independence U, for an independent you.
Call 1-800-681-2587.
Coconuts from my tree. Oh, not today. This time I won't just let you escape from me. Oh, not today.
Stay connected at urbanmusicreport.com for the hottest music features and videos, fashion reports, sports stories, entertainment news, and technology updates at urbanmusicreport.com. Stay connected.
Hi, we are back. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate the positive responses and people listening in. I know I act like I haven't done this before. I'm just doing a lot of stuff during the break, but thanks for joining us back. For those that want to join in the conversation, had any questions for Stan, because today is a conversation with Stan Zeff, my buddy, my friend. Please call 478-569-6474. A lot of people said they remember the Summer of Love. Like, there are quite a few people from Europe that are listening.
Oh, nice.
That are here in the States or have access to us as friends.
Yeah.
And so they're checking it out and they're like, oh, the Summer of Love. They remember
Yes.
that. So
Yeah.
kudos, big ups on that one.
Yeah.
So where we left off, Stan had just realized, hey, I love this thing called house music. I'm playing it now. We're doing it for the whole summer. Summer of '88 was epic, right? You did it Fridays and Saturdays. You're banging it out. You start a party at 10. You play till the sun comes up. And now you're like in your young 20s. So now, how did you decide? What made you decide to leave London and come to the States? What drove that decision, if you don't mind me asking?
No, it's okay. You
Okay.
can ask. It's fine. I think, as I said before, my two paths were technology and music. So at one stage they ran very much parallel because, you know, I used to build amplifiers and design and build my own speaker boxes and stuff like that. So technology was a part of my life, and I developed a career in technology in the IT field.
Okay.
So, you know, as an independent contractor in London, I was headhunted by a company to cut a long story short, to work in the States.
Wow.
I, you know, took the opportunity, and they sponsored me to come over.
Wow. And so how long have you been in the States? 16
long years.
Ooh, long time. Why
Yeah.
you say long? Has it not been
No,
good?
it's gone pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I can't believe I've been here
16.
this long.
Has it
Yeah.
always been Atlanta, or have you been
It's
in other
always
places?
been Atlanta.
So you came from London right here.
Yeah, they actually offered me, where do I want to go, LA or New York? Mm-hmm. And I said, have you got any positions in Atlanta?
Really?
And they were like, what? You would rather go to Atlanta than New York or LA?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
Why?
Because New York and LA, I'd been to them several times before, and it was just like, to me, it was another big city,
Okay.
you know, and I wanted to do something, you know, different. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something different, and I thought to myself, everything's been done in London, you know, that you can pretty much think of. So LA and New York are going to be the same. So I
Right.
thought to myself, you know what? Let me go to Atlanta.
Okay.
Because it's an emerging city, and it was at the time, it was one of the fastest growing cities in the country.
Right.
So I thought, let me go there, and you know, if I, whatever I'm going to do, the possibilities are going to be greater.
It's going to happen there.
It's going to happen there more so than New York, or you know.
Yeah, because in
Wherever.
those big cities, you're just a cog in the wheel, right?
Exactly.
Just
Yeah.
fitting it. You just
got
don't-
to fit in.
You don't
You
even
gotta
have
get
any
in and
voice
fit in.
there, really.
Right,
You're
right,
just existing.
right.
There's
Exactly.
something about Atlanta.
Yeah.
Now, was it shocking for you culturally, because Atlanta is predominantly, there's a lot of people that look like us. So was that different for you based on
Yeah, when I first got here, I loved it.
you?
I lived on the east side, so I lived on Panola Road.
Yeah.
And it's like everything is, you know, is black. So, and I loved that because it reminded me of being in the Caribbean.
Yes.
It reminded me of going to St. Lucia. When you go to St. Lucia, you know, it's like your doctor, lawyer,
Everybody.
the teacher, you know, your neighbors, everyone's black. Do you know what I'm saying? So it reminded me of that, you know. So, you know, it was cool.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Did we embrace you when you got here?
Some did.
Yeah. Or did we say, that guy talks funny?
That guy, he may look like us, but he talks funny. He talks different, right? So I used to get that. I still get that today.
That
you
guy
know?
talks funny.
Even though I've got my southern drawl, you know,
No,
people
you
don't.
do not
I
have
don't?
a
I don't.
not have a southern drawl.
Okay, well,
No.
I work on it sometimes.
No, you
know.
do not have a
Okay,
southern drawl.
all right. There's no southern drawl.
Not
then.
at all.
Okay.
Not at
right.
all. I felt like I just went to Amsterdam like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I was on British Airways, and I was like, everybody in here sounds like Stan.
Okay.
Everybody was talking like you. Now, I think I have an ear for it, but I think that I can sense some regional differences. Like,
Yeah.
some had more slang than others, but I was
Right.
just like, oh my God, 8 hours
Yeah.
of hearing people that sound just like you.
Right. Right.
You're lucky I'm used
That's
to
a
it.
good thing then,
It was
right?
it wasn't bad.
It's a good thing.
I was smiling on the inside. I
Right.
thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And my layover was in London at Heathrow, so it was more
Okay.
people like you, sounding like you.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I have to come back and check it out. So Atlanta's the spot. It's emerging. You've been here for 16 years, and
Mm-hmm.
so you've got this engineer career going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's great. So you're stable in that perspective, but the music still never left you.
Right.
Right. So how did you break into doing whatever? What was the first thing you did in Atlanta musically?
Well, before I left London, a couple of years before I left London, I used to keep all my records in storage. Well, it was really a lockup. It was really a garage.
Right.
Okay, with a little padlock on it with all my equipment and stuff. And, you know, we used to leave it there. All the equipment was in there for the majority of the time. Never had any problems. It was a residential area. Well, someone broke into it and stole majority of my records.
No.
Right. So so that was a big hit for me. And then when I moved over to Atlanta, I met up with some guys from London. One of them I knew before, called Mikey
Right,
Breaks, and one
right.
called Lyndon. And we decided we wanted to start doing UK style parties for people, expats
Nice.
from the UK.
Okay.
So we started doing parties in people's basements and in my basement, and and little venues and stuff like that. And so what that moved me to do was to start back collecting all my records that I had stolen.
Okay.
And it wasn't a list. I would just go on eBay and all these other vinyl stores, and just like literally every day for a few years, I had vinyl on my doorstep.
Really?
I was just like collecting. So and my motivation was these parties. These because we played reggae, soca, soul, rare groove. We played it all, across the board. So that was fun.
Okay.
That was
Any
fun.
house though?
Some house,
A little house.
Some house, like
Still.
Tortured Soul and stuff like that.
Okay.
So some house stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
So you did that. Then how long did that happen? Like, so you were doing that for a while. What was the response? Were you charging people, or just people just coming over?
Bit of both. Bit of both. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like I held regular parties in my basement. It's just
Okay.
now and then. But mainly it was for people, expats, and they wanted a party, and there was no one that was playing how they wanted it. Because as I said earlier, when you're a DJ in London, you had to play a bit of everything to
Yes.
keep everyone happy.
Right.
And so that's what they wanted,
So when did you started to play on your own? Because I know you talk of a collective group of people.
Right.
When did you decide I'm going to do some things on my own?
Well, I met a guy called Darren. He's an English guy. Have you heard of Top Floor? Okay. Well,
Yes.
he was the owner of Top Floor.
Okay.
Okay, and he used to manage a place called Carroll Street Cafe,
Okay.
right? So we became friends and stuff, and he was like, "Stan, you DJ, don't you?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "We need a DJ here on a Tuesday night." So I was like, "Okay, I'll do it."
Okay.
So I played at Carroll Street Cafe every Tuesday for about a year and a half,
Really?
and it was great. I met some great, wonderful people that I still know today, And then the owner of Carroll Street Cafe is also the owner of Apri DM. So he said, "Okay, we want you to come over here Tuesdays."
Wow.
So I went over to their Tuesdays and ended up doing Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday at Apri DM.
Wow.
And I met even more people and stuff.
And
like
how
that.
long did you do that?
About 2 years.
2 years, solid.
Yeah, 2 years solid.
And
Yeah.
so you would play like from a happy hour into the night, like from maybe 6 to 10, kind of
No,
sort of?
it was more from, in the week it was like that till about 11, but on the Friday, Saturdays it was like till 2 a.m.
Really?
Yeah, 10 till 2.
And people are dancing.
Sometimes, yeah. But it was mainly, it was a lounge,
It was a lounge kind of
it was
thing.
lounge kind
And
of
you're
thing.
playing everything,
Yeah, vinyl.
all vinyl. So
Yeah.
you're carrying crates. You're carrying all these
crates,
records.
Carrying 12 SL 1200s and a mixer and stuff like that. Yeah.
Ooh, speakers, the whole thing.
No, they had speakers there. I
Okay.
just plugged in.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So then when did you say, listen, I've been doing this for a while. People are vibing it, but I need to do something different. When did you get to that point?
About, I would say 2007, 2008.
Okay.
Yeah, about 2007 when I started experimenting with different dance parties in Atlanta. I did one called After Dark. I did a few parties where we got like a gallery and some old venues
Right.
and stuff like that, and we did parties there. Well, I did parties there, I should
Okay.
say. And that was working out fairly well, but I still wasn't satisfied with how things were going.
Really?
Because it wasn't the vibe that I wanted, So I took a trip somewhere, and I was coming back on the plane, and I opened up a book, and the first word on the top of the page was tambour.
Really?
And I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. It just resonated with me.
Really?
And I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. That's what the party's going to be called,
Tambour.
tambour.
And what does tambour mean to you?
It's a drum ceremony. That's what it actually means.
Means.
It's an Afro-Cuban word, which means drum ceremony, And what does it mean to me? It means a language, a universal language.
There you go.
That everyone understands, no matter where you're from, what race, color, creed, religion, height, size, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Everyone understands the drum, which is where the music comes from.
Awesome. So that you had a name.
Yes.
You had a concept, right?
Mhm.
At least of what you wanted to do. When you first did Tambor, did you know it was just going to be purely house music?
Yes. Yeah.
You knew that.
hmm
You wasn't going to bring anything else. It was just going to be house. Why house?
Because house is universal. It's universal, and it affects everyone. And based on my DJ career and experience within London,
Yes.
it includes everyone.
Right.
When you go to a party and they're playing house music, everyone's there.
Absolutely.
And that's what I wanted to recreate in with the Tambor Party. Something for everyone.
So you had the name, you had the concept, the music. Did you have a venue?
Not really. No, I didn't have a venue.
You didn't have a venue.
No.
Did you have to sell the concept to people? Like, listen, hey, I got this great idea. I want to do this party. Da, da, da. Did you have to sell it?
No, not really.
No.
There was this venue in downtown Atlanta called Crew Urban Lounge. Do you know it?
No.
Okay, it's a smallish type wine bar type place.
Okay.
And they hired me to DJ there.
Really?
So I went there and I said, okay, can I make it my night there? And they said, yeah. And I called it Tambor, So being myself, and I'm into equipment and it's got to sound right.
Yeah,
I had
it's
this
gotta
18-inch
sound
sub that I took in there. And I plugged it into their speakers, and so when I was playing, I turned up the sub, and all their neighbours and people
Oh my
living above
gosh.
started to complain.
Plain.
Right? So that was short-lived. Right? But I didn't stop. I didn't
Okay.
let that stop me.
Okay.
Okay.
So then you went to different places. So Tambor is starting to pop up in different venues at this time. But
Yes. Yeah.
and this was about when? 7 years ago?
Yes, 7 years ago, 2009.
Was it always just you, or did you have other people? Did you have guest DJs or resident DJ when you first birthed
The
this?
first one I started at Crew was just myself.
Okay.
And actually, Kevin Latham came and did the opening set. But after that, I brought in Brian Edwards, and he was a resident with myself.
There you go.
So we played together and we brought guests in.
Awesome. Awesome. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk more about Tambor. We're going to talk about the sound,
Yeah.
what it's considered to be, the lane that you've created for Tambor here in Atlanta. So when we come back, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Great.
Are you being audited and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate your tax bill and reduce your stress. The IRS can freeze your assets and seize your bank accounts, but you can stop these IRS actions. The Tax Doctor will work with you using our years of experience to represent your case to help you get the best resolution under the IRS guidelines. Help is here to deal with the IRS to reduce your stress. We've handled thousands of cases, so we know what we're doing. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, do not call the IRS alone. Call a Tax Doctor now for a tax emergency analysis.
Call 800-586-7140.
Important message for people with IVC filters. Patients that have had IVC filters implanted to prevent blood clots from reaching their heart or lungs may be in serious danger. The FDA warns that pieces of the filter can break off in your vein, tearing your vessels, lungs, or heart, causing serious injury or death. Don't wait for this to happen to you. Call the Guardian Legal Network to speak with an experienced lawyer. If you don't win, you pay nothing.
Call 800-925-1296.
So, you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So, pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or Learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid, your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-681-2587.
Independence U for an independent you.
Call 1-800-681-2587.
Coconuts from my tree. Oh, not today. This time I won't just let you escape from me. Oh, not today.
Stay connected at urbanmusicreport.com for the hottest music features and videos, fashion reports, sports stories, entertainment news, and technology updates at urbanmusicreport.com. Stay connected.
And we're back.
We're back.
Mr.
Yes.
Tambor, Mr. Tambor. You wore a shirt today. Look at
I
that.
did. My vintage Tambor shirt.
Vintage. You don't even
Yeah.
sell those anymore.
No, you can't get these anymore.
You can't get those anymore. It's
No.
aged. Like
It's
it is.
aged. It's like the Tambor's kind of.
Was that the
you know,
first
out.
one?
No, it wasn't. This was about the fourth or fifth run.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You have the first one still?
Yes, I do.
You should have wore
I've got them
that.
all.
Can we
Yeah.
get that? How can we get
can.
those?
You can't get them.
We
anymore,
can't
I'm
get
sorry,
those. Just
no.
like the lifetime
You had
memberships,
to be
right?
there.
I had to be
You
there.
had to be there.
I was in
Yeah.
Atlanta, but I didn't know you.
Right.
I didn't know about House in
Oh,
Atlanta.
I'm sorry.
I'm a house head, but I had to find it.
Wish we could turn the clocks back.
I wish.
Yeah.
Because then I would have one of those.
You would have one of these.
So talk to me about this. So now we've birthed Tambor. We have the idea, right? And we know that we were looking for venues, right? We partnered. The first one was really with Kevin Latham. Shouts out to Kevin. We like Kevin. Kevin's a good, excellent DJ. And then you partnered with Brian Edward, DJ B.
DJ B.
And so then where were you at with B the first night? The first collab, the first night you played with Brian, where were you guys?
At a club called Sensi in East Atlanta Village.
Wow.
Yep. On Glenwood Avenue.
Really?
Yes.
What was the first night like?
It was special.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
There was more of a turnout than I thought there would be. It was like 70 people, 70, 80 people
Okay.
that came.
Why?
And it was special because I could see, it was like my gut feeling, okay, actually was telling me something
Yeah.
that came into fruition.
Right.
You know?
You and your gut.
So me and my gut, right? So you know, as you know, I'm a person that relies on my
Oh,
gut.
He
I listen. I
relies
sit
on
down.
his gut. Yes.
Right. Yes. I sat down. And was like, my gut was telling me, okay, you got to do this party.
Yes.
So I did the party. You know, and it was a success where people came at the end of the night and they were saying it was really good. And,
Right.
and a few people actually came up to me and said, this is going to be something really big. You know, don't stop. Keep doing it because this is going to be really big. So I was like, you know, maybe their gut's telling them the same thing as me as well.
Wow.
So I made it a monthly party. I only did one in Sensi because after that the club closed down.
Oh, okay.
And then we moved to Filter, Club Filter, which was called the Mark, downtown Atlanta,
Okay.
near Georgia State. So I was there. I moved there, and then I decided what I'll do is I'll bring in guest DJs every month.
Really?
Because I wanted to switch it around and I wanted to keep it fresh. I didn't want to get people used to the same thing every month.
Right.
So so I decided to get a guest in every month.
Okay.
So my first guest at the Mark was Lou Gorbea.
Ooh,
Crossroads.
yes.
Then it was Tony Humphreys,
Nice.
and can't remember who it was after that.
It
but
just and
yeah.
now you just keep
I think
doing
it was
it.
Danny Krivit after that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I
Now,
just kept it rolling.
7 years ago, no
Mhm.
social media. How'd you get the word out about your parties? Flyers? Was it
Yeah,
flyers?
did flyers.
You did
I
flyers.
did a lot of flyers back
You
then.
did.
Yes, I did. For every party, I did a load of flyers. There was social media, but it wasn't to the extent it was as what it is now.
Okay. Okay.
I think what I had to rely on as well was me playing in all these different lounges.
Yes.
Because I did quite a lot prior to Tambor.
Mm-hmm.
People used to come up to me, "Oh, house music! You're playing house music.
Right. Right.
Where can I play house? Where can I hear house music?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Well, I'll give me your email and I'll let you know."
And that's how it.
So I built up an email list of
Okay,
people
right.
who showed interest.
Right.
So that's what I used, and that's what the majority of people that came to my parties were based on the people I've met along the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
And still meeting.
And still meeting. Yeah.
Wow. So you and Brian doing this thing called Tambor, right? It's a hit. 70, 80 people in the room. Were people sweaty? Did we go till 3 in the morning? What
Yeah.
time did the party end?
Went on till 3 in the morning. It was, we had a live percussionist, and it was a really good vibe.
It was.
It was a really good vibe.
What kind of music was played?
It was Afro.
Afro.
Because at that time, there was only a few people that were into the South African house sound.
Okay.
It was myself, DJ B, and Kevin Latham,
Right.
maybe a few other people
Okay,
in Atlanta. It wasn't
okay.
a lot. And this is what we felt, and this is what we loved, and this is the vibe that we wanted to put out to the people and concentrate on, So that's what we played. And people gravitated to it.
Yeah.
They loved it. They loved the vibe. They liked the cultural feeling and the energy that the sound emitted.
Okay.
So we just kept rolling with it. And again, people was like, "Oh, this African stuff, it's not house music
Not
and
house.
whatever." But to me, it was.
Okay.
To
Okay.
me, it was house music. It just had a different energy to
Okay.
it.
Okay. And you stuck to it. You still
Still-
play it.
I
You still
still play
play
it.
it. You
Still
still play
play it. It's
Afro
part of
today.
me.
It's part of you.
Mhm.
Do you play it just as much now as you've done when you first started?
Yes, I do.
You do.
I do. In different environments, it depends on the environment.
Right. Right.
You just got to size up the crowd.
Right.
But even if the crowd don't really know Afro house as such, I'll build it in a way that at some stage during the night you're going to hit.
You're
going to
get it.
You're going to get it. You're going to hit it, and you're going to be like, and they're going to be like, "What is this? I've never heard this before." If I can go to Chicago, a place where it's predominantly traditional house, four on the floor house music, and
Yes.
play Afro house, and they're still dancing to it, then it's house music.
Then it's house music.
It's house music.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that. So the sound, when people hear Afro House, they immediately, at least in Atlanta, think of you. How do you feel about that? You feel that your mission has been accomplished? Is that what you really wanted for
It
Tambor?
wasn't what I set out to do.
Okay.
It was just, I think when you believe in something, people believe in it as well.
Okay.
And people could feel and sense that I believe in what I do.
Right. Right.
And when you put your blood, sweat, and tears into something, and you express it in such a way that you show the love for it, people pick up on that
They
energy.
do. That is true. That's
so
true.
so it's not when I do the Tambor party, I don't go out to say, okay, this is going to be a spiritual thing.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But the spirit is real, and people pick
You
up on
feel
it.
it, yes.
You feel it.
You do feel
pick
it.
up on the energy and the vibe and the spirit.
It's a very unique thing.
Right.
It's
exactly.
and it draws. I mean, the universe is very amazing
Yes.
because when I first discovered a house here in Atlanta, and it came by way of Comedic, right?
Right.
In North Carolina.
Right.
He says there is a house scene in Atlanta. I said, man, get out of here. He said, no, there is. He says there's conversations we're talking about it here in North Carolina, in Raleigh and Charlotte. there is something bubbling in Atlanta. You've got to figure it
Yeah.
out and find it. And I started to peel the onion and go
Right.
to all these different places.
Right.
And I'm following people that I thought was.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up at 595.
Oh my God.
Right.
Okay.
And when I ended up there at the end of the night, when I left at 3, I texted this person and I said, I found it.
Right.
I found what I had been looking for.
And what party was that?
I can't even remember.
Right,
It was
okay.
a couple of years ago.
Right.
I just know that I walked into this big warehouse type feeling building, and
Yeah.
it took me home.
Right.
Right. It made me feel like I was
Right.
ready to get down to New York, and I was
Right.
like, this is awesome. And the sound went from floor to ceiling.
Right.
And people didn't care what you looked like.
Yeah.
People were in sneakers.
Yeah.
People came in one shirt, left with
Right.
another shirt.
Right.
They were soaking wet,
Yeah.
and I see these animated DJs just
Right. Rocking
going for it, like
right.
going. And I was like, I think I found it.
Right.
And the energy on the floor was contagious
Right.
and infectious because people didn't know you, but they welcomed you with their smile or
Right.
just by dancing
Right.
with you. And immediately I got this tambour card, and
Right.
I went every month.
Right.
And I had my money, I had my ID, and I was like, I didn't really care who was going to play. I just knew
Yeah.
at the end of the night I was going to get what I needed.
Right.
And so it's just amazing that we come full circle, because I can speak to it from a consumer.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. It is a very universal feel on the
Right.
floor.
Yeah.
And I think, though, that based on your guest DJs,
Mm-hmm.
I think that changes how the sound may play out for that night.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
You may go really Afro, or you may have a different sense of style
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because of whoever else is playing with you
Right.
and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So it's awesome in that regard. I want to talk about how, when you prepare for a night at Tambour, I know there's a lot of work that goes through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because here it is, you're here in Atlanta. There's a lot of planning, right? To get a guest DJ, there's coordination and syncing up and asking and
Yeah.
availability.
Right.
So it's about availability, right?
Right.
And usually, for the most part, you guys are able to work it out that they're able to come and do it.
Right.
But that's where it doesn't end for you there, right? So
Right.
you're planning, you're trying to get everything together, the logistics, making sure the guest DJ is here, safe, all of that, the sound. When you prepare for that night, what do you go through? What goes in your mind as it relates to you being your own selector, right? You're selecting your own music.
Right.
How do you go about that? What is usually your driver for that?
In terms of DJing.
Yes.
Well, first of all, I have to clear my mind
Okay.
because, as you said, there's a lot of work, there's a lot of organizing
Yes.
in the background.
Yes.
Getting the float, getting,
Yeah.
everyone, the staff, getting everyone ready, and the sound has to be right, because I'm a type of person there's no compromise.
Right.
If I'm going to do a tambour party, if I'm going to do a party, it has to be right. So there's no compromise at all. Everything's got to be right. So once I'm settled and the sound is good, the people are where they're supposed to be, the venue is looking how I would like it to look. So when people come in, they're greeted in the right way, and that the mood is set.
Right.
Then I can clear my mind, and then think about the music.
Okay.
And it's not really thinking about it; it's more of a feeling.
Okay.
It's,
Okay.
it's like, because I would go through my music a day or 2 days before, or
Right.
even the day of in the morning.
Right.
So I'll go through the music, and I know what's in my crate, in my record box. I know what's there, and it's from then on, it's feeling the crowd.
Right,
You know,
okay.
I don't have a set playlist of, okay, I'm going to play these 30
Okay,
tracks or these
okay.
60 tracks. I don't one after the other. I don't do that at all. I feel, I look at the crowd and I feel the crowd, and then from then I play to entice the crowd, to get them, to reel them in. I throw out the bait, I say here, and then okay, and they catch the bait.
He's like,
I got the stick,
And
you
you
got
reeling
to
them.
take that.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's a feeling.
It's a feeling.
I feel the crowd. Where the crowd are coming from, and what they want, and also where I want to take them. What do I want to play? Do I want to play more of a techie, harder set, or do I want to play a vocal set, or do I want to play a straight up Afro set, you know. So, in answer to your question, it's my preparation is feeling.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All feeling.
All
You know,
feeling.
a lot of people that come through there don't know that you're Stan.
Really?
Yeah. There are people that come through the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard about this Stan Zeff. Where is he? And you're like standing right next to them. They don't even know. Oh, is this him? They don't
Yeah.
even know. They don't
wow.
know until you're banging it out. Like,
Okay.
who is this guy? And then
Right.
they'll ask somebody else. So, and you know, kudos to you for doing that, because I see you walk around.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it's not your time to play, you typically walk around, get a
Yeah.
feel, a sense of the energy.
right.
You meet people, you
Right.
greet people, you take pictures and that
Right.
type of thing. So they're already drawn in, if you will, because you've already kind of made that connection.
Yeah.
And you felt their energy. I want to talk about the staff, because anything that's done well is usually a team, or there's somebody helping you. There's some
Right.
people that helped you. So when you first started doing this, I know you still have a graphics person. Like, image is very important. I want people to
Big up
listen.
Melba.
Yeah, Melba. Great job, Melba.
Right.
People listen.
Melba
Like,
Saucy. Yeah.
the images are very important. I've seen like flyers where people look like it's just like not in good taste. Yeah, right. Get a graphics person that's going to help your image and your brand look really well. So you have graphics, you have a website, right?
Right.
You had someone helping you do that. You do sound,
Mm-hmm.
you the door. You had like, it's a team
Right.
collectively over the years. It's been
Right.
a team of people helping
Yes.
you
Yes.
because you can't do it all.
Exactly. You can't do it all.
You could, but you wear yourself thin.
And thank you, Dorsey, for helping. Let's take a little break. Thank you, Dorsey, for all the work you do for Tambour Party. You're
You're
so
welcome.
important
Well,
to
thank
us.
you.
know.
No. I'm
to,
just
to this party.
I'm filling in shoes. I mean, you had some people that were doing it way
Yeah.
before I even knew of its
Right.
existence. So shouts out to
Robbie,
all of
Robbie Randall.
Yeah.
You know, Robbie was there from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, and he believed in the party.
Right.
In the beginning. Nonny.
Noni.
Um,
Michael.
Brian.
Yes.
Michael.
Brian.
Yeah.
And then the photography, right? Talking
Yeah.
about that. Carlos Bell
Yeah.
took pictures, and now you have Demetrius that
Demetrius does an
does
amazing job.
amazing job. That
Yeah.
people all over the world are like, who is this guy?
That's
This
right.
image
His
is
stock's
great.
gone up, isn't he?
It's gone up tremendously. So
But the thing is as well, I talk about the gut a lot.
yes.
But if I meet someone, and and they want to help and
Right,
stuff like that,
right.
and the team, Melba, it's all about gut, and I knew immediately that Melba would be good for the brand,
Right,
I
right.
knew immediately that she would get it, because sometimes I just send her what I want, and then she comes back and I don't even have to explain what I want on the
Yeah.
flyer. She gets it.
Spot on.
Right, and the same with you. You say, what do I want? What do I need? What do we need to do for this party? And blah blah blah. And I was like, why are you asking me? Because you know already. Do you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't. The team is effortless. It has to be effortless.
has to be.
If it's an effort, then then that person really doesn't need to be in the team.
That's true.
As such,
Right.
everyone needs coaching. Everyone needs to be put in the right direction.
Right.
But it doesn't need to be overly exertive.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
You look like you always have a good time at your parties.
Yeah.
You always have a
You
beer
have
in your
to.
hand, a drink.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
You have to.
Yeah. Ready to
You have
press
to.
play.
I've got to enjoy it as much as anyone else.
Absolutely.
I've got to believe in it more than anyone else.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, why am I doing it? Mm-hmm.
Tell me, how did Tambour Records come about? Why did you decide to do records or music?
I decided to start Tambour Music, and I brought in an old friend of mine from London, Andrew Marriott, who used to work in Black Market Records. So he's a veteran
Yes.
with house music from the 80s. And I decided to do it because I wanted to expose the Tambour brand in a different way.
Okay.
And not just a party, but also be recognized as a vehicle that's putting out music, and also the music that I break in the party, I want people to be to know about this type of music.
Right. Right.
I would take chances on music and play it, stuff that's unreleased, people never heard before.
Right.
And people love it, So I'm thinking to myself, why don't I just start a label and start pushing it out and just concentrating on this vibe, and put, So that's really why I started.
Okay.
And it's been going pretty well.
It has.
Yeah.
The music that we've been listening to in the break has all been off Tambor Tambor Records.
All with tambour music. That's
All
right.
your Tambor music,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
is great stuff. And we have a whole bunch, but we just don't have enough time to play them all.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that's a good thing. So I want to talk a little bit about, I think I'm going to take a break. But when we come back, I want to talk about you and your brother,
Okay.
both in the business.
Yes.
There are some people that don't know you have a brother in the business.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about him and how you guys collaborate and where we're going to go in the future together, right? So when
sure.
we come back, we'll talk some more with Stan, a conversation with Stan Zeff.
Cool.
Are you missing out on life because you're putting off neck or back surgery? Call Laser Spine Institute, the leader in minimally invasive spine surgery, to learn how a less than 1-inch incision can have you up and walking within a few hours of surgery, free from chronic back pain, and with no hospital stay and no lengthy recovery. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with spinal stenosis, bulging or herniated disc, sciatica, or other chronic conditions, call today for your no-cost MRI review.
There were times my boss would send me home because I was in excruciating pain. Going to Laser Spine Institute, I go in, I have the procedure, and walk out a changed person, good to go back to work. I can't tell you how much happier I am. It's changed my life completely.
If you've been told you need neck or back surgery, call 855-720-BACK now for your no-cost MRI review.
Laser Spine Institute, a less than 1-inch incision, a lifetime of standing tall.
Are you being audited and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate your tax bill and reduce your stress. The IRS can freeze your assets and seize your bank accounts, but you can stop these IRS actions. The Tax Doctor will work with you using our years of experience to represent your case to help you get the best resolution under the IRS guidelines. Help is here to deal with the IRS to reduce your stress. We've handled thousands of cases, so we know what we're doing. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, do not call the IRS alone. Call a Tax Doctor now for a tax emergency analysis.
Call 877-246-5106.
What up, y'all? We got a new single coming from Epidemic featuring Slim, a 112 and Jazz Laser. The single is called Living in the Sky. It's now available on iTunes and CD Baby. Be sure to download your copy today.
I woke up on one with 9 zeros, that is, reminiscing about the days back when I was a kid, when I saw $100, like damn bro, I'm paid, I spend a couple hundred every hour.
Stay connected at urbanmusicreport.com for the hottest music features and videos, fashion reports, sports stories, entertainment news, and technology updates at urbanmusicreport.com. Stay connected.
We're having a conversation with Stan Zeff, my friend.
That's right.
My friend. Stan Zeff, Mr. Tambor.
Thank you,
Tambor Music, you're very welcome. This has been very good. Thank you, everyone who's been listening and sharing and commenting. Forgive me, I have to learn how to multitask. Like, I try to focus on the guest and the content, and I have to learn to do that and give you guys the love. But I see you out there. Thank you for sharing and giving us hearts and all that good stuff. We really appreciate it. I just felt that this was a person that's in the house community that I think people are interested by. Just kind of wanted to understand a little bit about his background and what he did in the UK, what he did in London, and how he got to Atlanta, and how this party, this Tambor party, this sensation, this thing that's going on here in Atlanta, has such flight, such wind beneath its wings. And then when we left for the break, we talked about the Tambor music component, but I also segued to the fact that you have a brother in the industry. Who's your brother? Tell me your brother. What's his name?
Zeff Saint.
Say it louder. Say that.
Zeff Saint.
Yes, Mr. Who? Mr. Tribe Records.
Right, Tribe Records.
Right.
Yeah.
And how is that? How does it feel to have your brother in the similar industry? Because can I call him by his government name?
Dean.
Dean doesn't really do a lot of parties, does he? Does he do a lot of parties?
He used to, but not so much anymore.
Right. Okay.
He concentrates on the label now.
On the label, putting out beautiful,
Right. Quality music.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Like everybody has it. For those that are listening, I know there's a couple. Junior T and D Tate love
Right.
everything that Dean is doing.
Yeah.
Zephyr and Saint, and I listen to them, and they have oodles of his music in their to their midst. So how does it feel that you guys, brothers, if you will? I remember I had to convince somebody that you guys were brothers because
Right.
people were like, they're not brothers. I'm like,
Yeah.
they're brothers. They are. No, they just call each other brothers. No, they're brothers. They are brothers biologically.
Yeah.
How does it feel to work with your brother in the industry?
You know, it's funny because first of all, I've got to say, although we're both in the industry, we're best friends.
Yes.
Okay.
Very tight.
Much,
Very
very
tight.
much best friends. Very, you know, and you know, being a brother, having a brother, that's my best friend.
Yes.
And my homie and everything that goes along with that. To me, that's more important than having a brother in the business.
Gotcha.
Because we've always done things together. Always. You know, back in the day, in the 80s, with the Summer of Love, we had a sound system called Shock. And we worked together back then.
Right.
You know, so we've always worked together. Tambor and Tribe started in the same year,
Wow.
2009. And it wasn't a plan. We didn't sort of say, okay, let's... you start Tambor, you start Tribe, and you know we'll come together and do parties. It was never that, it just happened that way, you know. So you know that's kind of ironic, but you know when we get together and we talk, you know, we very rarely talk about music and you know and parties and stuff like that, and you know it would be you know as a what do you think about this party? do you know what I'm saying? It's like before we go, before you go,
we got to
what
talk about this.
We got to talk about this. But you know, we're brothers and we're best friends. So you know, we've got families to talk about, children to talk about,
mom and dad
to talk about, and you know, we've got so much other stuff to talk about, and the music kind of takes a back seat to everything else going on in our lives because you know, as best friends, we talk about everything, anything and everything, you know. So, I you know, although he's in the business, it kind of makes things smoother, but not really.
Really?
Yeah.
Why so? Why not really?
Because although we work together, we're still independent.
Yes, you are.
Okay, we're independent and we make our own decisions, but we bounce ideas off each other. You know, and as we go forward in our different directions.
Now, what people like to see is WMC. They love when you guys come together once a year, sometimes twice, twice.
Yeah.
Down in Miami, it's just really epic. I feel that the Tribe side is more of the artist side, you know, more of the music per se, very known for that.
Right.
And you are the events, the parties. It's just, and it's two different lanes that come together and complement each other very well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome stuff. Now that you've been in Atlanta or in the States for 16 years, right? You said when you first came here, Atlanta was emerging, and now you're here. What is your viewpoint? How do you feel about house music in London or in the UK now? Has it grown? Has it evolved? Or is it still about the same when you left?
No, I think it's changed.
Okay.
I think house music in London was like a forerunner for the house music scene.
Okay.
I think that the DJs in London at the time, especially when house music was emerging, weren't afraid to play that music, and they played it the same as they did in Chicago.
Gotcha.
I think that's changed now. I think London and England has always looked up to the US DJs, always. But I think maybe they look up to those DJs more so now than they did back in the day, because it seems as if they were more revolutionary with their music. Okay. which London has always and England has always been. They'll come out with drum and bass and garage and all these other different sub-genres.
Right.
I think that the music now is again looking more towards the US.
Really?
But I would say that the scene in Europe is probably better than what it is in the US.
Really? How
Yeah.
so? How so?
Because I think it's got a wider audience.
Okay.
It's got a wider audience and it's more diverse. And you've got places now like Berlin, which are like leading the way, is like the electronic music capital of the world.
Wow.
It's the place to be.
Now, wow.
And then you've got the other really good festivals like the ADE and like Sunset Beat and stuff
Yes,
like that,
yes.
where people are just like going there in droves from all over the world.
Right.
And that used to be Miami, WMC, but people aren't going there as much as they were years ago.
Everything is in Europe now. Yeah.
Everything's in Europe now.
I did feel that vibe. I did go to ADE for the first time. It was great. It was great to meet people that were about the music.
Yes.
Regardless of what their outer casing was.
Right.
When they pressed play, it was something about the music and the track selections and the things that they played that drew people together.
Yes.
And people just wanted more of that.
Right.
And so for that, my nose has gotten open.
Right.
In the sense that I want to go and experience house music more globally. Amsterdam is one, Croatia is another place, Greece is another place. I want to experience all of the festivals. I think you and I talked offline about it, but aren't there several festivals that take place in London in the UK throughout the year, like this 51st Street Festival?
51st Street, when they've got a huge lineup of DJs from the US,
Right.
Louis Vega, Terry Hunter, and Mike Dunn.
Right.
There's a huge list of DJs.
Huge.
Everyone's over there.
So is it more, do you find that there's just as many festivals going on in Europe as it is here in the States?
Yes, but they're bigger.
They're bigger. Bigger venues.
Bigger venues, more people, a younger crowd.
Younger crowd.
Yeah, much younger crowd.
Yeah.
So, which is good because it means that there's longevity in the scene.
Yeah.
If they love it now, then they're going to love it tomorrow.
Yeah, and
we
talk about that. I talk to anybody that is passionate about this genre of music called house.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about how we first fell in love, we're talking in the 80s.
Right.
We're aging ourselves.
Right.
We've aged ourselves.
Yeah.
So if you guys do the math, you can figure out where our timeline is today.
Right.
In order for this genre to continue on, we have to adopt, if you will, or spread it to the younger heads or younger people.
Right, exactly.
And then we have to be comfortable with the fact that they're going to put a different spin on it, right?
Yeah.
Because when we came into it, it was the Marshall Jeffersons, right?
And that was a different spin.
And it was a different spin.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
right.
as time moves on, it has to change, and we have to be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
But we have to, I'm just begging people that are listening that love house music to
Right.
just try to share that with other people younger than us so that the torch can be carried. Otherwise, it's going to die with us, and we don't.
Right.
I don't want that.
No, I don't think that will happen.
You don't think it'll die?
I don't think it'll die. I mean, because it's good music.
It is good music.
I mean, that's my opinion. And for whatever that's worth.
Yeah.
But it is good music.
Yeah.
Compared to a lot of other genres out there, musically, is very good.
It is.
So good music never dies.
True. Do we feel that in the U.S. we're up against different types of popular music? Why our venues for house have gotten a little smaller over the years?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I think that with our music, we have to make an effort to bring in new people.
Yeah, we do.
And we don't have the media exposure that other genres do. And if you have someone who believes in hip hop, for example, there's so many people that would love to invest and see a return in hip hop as opposed to house.
Yeah.
So that's what we're up against.
Yeah, we are.
We're up against pushing the word, the holy word of house music to the masses, and to do it in an effective way that it brings in new, fresh people that are gonna oh my God, where have I been? You know, and you see it in their eyes when they come to Tambour. You see it in people's eyes.
Yes.
It's like, how have I not known about this?
Yes.
You know, and I've been in Atlanta for so long. How have I not known about this? This is amazing. This is what I need.
It's amazing.
You know?
It is. It's a good place to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to take one more break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about what you look like. What does Tambour look like for you?
In the future.
In the future.
Okay.
And the things that you got your hands on mixed in music, Tambour music, something about some cruise.
Have you signed a non-disclosure? Did you sign one before we did this interview?
You
did, but what about,
did not.
What about everyone else?
I
Okay.
did not.
All right, okay.
So when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more with Stan Zeff.
Okay. Bye.
Important message for people with IVC filters. Patients that have had IVC filters implanted to prevent blood clots from reaching their heart or lungs may be in serious danger. The FDA warns that pieces of the filter can break off in your vein, tearing your vessels, lungs, or heart, causing serious injury or death. Don't wait for this to happen to you. Call the Guardian Legal Network to speak with an experienced lawyer. If you don't win, you pay nothing.
Call 800-925-1296.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid, your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-681-2587.
Independence U for an independent you.
Call 1-800-681-2587.
Coconuts from my tree. Oh, not today. This time I won't just let you escape from me. Oh, not today.
Stay connected at urbanmusicreport.com for the hottest music features and videos, fashion reports, sports stories, entertainment news, and technology updates at urbanmusicreport.com. Stay connected.
Hi, everyone. We are back. This is my conversation with Stan Zeff. We hope you found it to be interesting. I enjoy talking to you, Stan. This
Thank
has
you very
been
much.
really
Me
good.
too. Me too.
I think people needed to know just a little bit more about you.
Okay. Thank you.
Talk to me about this cruise business. What's going on with this cruise? What's going on? You got a cruise happening?
We've got
When?
a cruise happening next year, 2017, May 5th to the 8th.
Yes.
Yes.
And where are you going?
From Miami to the Bahamas.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And what is the lineup of DJs?
An amazing lineup of DJs. But first of all, the cruise was an idea that I've always wanted to do.
Okay.
I've always wanted to do a cruise. And for whatever reason, I don't know, but you know, it's probably that gut thing again.
gut
Do you know what I'm
thing.
saying? That
The gut thing.
That gut thing going on. I always wanted to do a cruise and a party on a cruise. And it's a long story, but to cut a long story short, I bumped into someone that puts on cruises, okay, which most people know as Barbara. And
Ginebra, Barbara
Ginebra.
Ginebra.
If she's listening.
Yes. Hi, Barbara.
And, you know, and so it all came into fruition.
Yes.
The stars aligned and everything just came in and the universe was like, nodded their head and just like, everything started falling into place.
Yes.
So, you know, so talking it with Dean, you know, Zeff and Saint, and we put it all together and started, you know, did a collaboration and got an amazing lineup of DJs.
Oh,
Yeah, Joe Clausel, Zeff, Jose Marquez,
Yes.
Mark Francis, Tyrone Francis, Wayne Williams, Alan King,
Yes.
Jellybean Benitez, Yogi, Helen Ting.
Yes.
Who else? Have I forgotten anyone?
You
I think that's
did.
everyone.
No.
Oh,
D'Angelo. DJ Angelo.
DJ Angelo from Greece. Yep. So, it's an amazing lineup, and the idea is just to give people a memorable music experience, okay, in a different setting, on a ship.
On the ship for 3 days.
For 3 days.
People are excited.
Yes.
Can I book a cabin now, Stan Zeff? Tell the people.
At the moment, all the cabins are gone. But what we're trying to get more cabins.
Okay.
So we just we don't want to be in a stage where we're sold out, because we always want to get more cabins for people. Just putting the word out there. You just got to be patient with us, and we're going to get some more there.
But currently, like a couple of the cabin types are unavailable, and we're working to try to get some more.
Right. The inside and outside cabins are all gone.
Got a few balconies
That's
left.
what we originally budgeted for or reserved.
Right.
That we thought, and they're all gone, and people still want to come.
Yeah,
so we've got a waiting list of people who want to come. So if you are interested, go to tambourparty.com and all the information's on there.
Okay.
About how you can reserve a cabin and stuff.
Where do you see, there's Tambour and then there's Stan Zeff. Where do you see Tambour in the next year or two?
It's funny. Someone asked me that question like 5 years ago.
Really?
Yes. And what I said then was, I'm not sure, but all I can do is I can put the sail up, okay, and see where the wind blows.
Okay.
Which basically means it's up to the universe. How the universe wants to shape and shift it, and I'll just go with that.
Okay.
I would like, obviously, the exposure of Tambour to grow.
Right.
More internationally.
Yes.
I would like that, definitely. To do more with the label, to do more with everything.
Yes.
To grow it organically, though. And organically means at the will of the universe.
Okay.
And see where the universe leads it through, of course, that thing called my gut.
Your gut.
My gut.
Is that the same sentiments you have for Stan Zeff? Because Stan Zeff to me is a brand too,
Yes.
right? You have the same sentiments for Stan Zeff?
Yes, I do.
You do?
I do. Obviously, I love to DJ and I love music, and it's in my not just my soul but my being.
Yes.
And just like someone might go to a party and they can dance and forget about all their
Yes.
problems and everything, and just dance them away and sweat them away. Then it's the same for me when I'm DJing.
Awesome.
So I love to DJ and I want to continue DJing and I want to DJ to more people.
Right. The masses.
In more places, yeah.
The masses. So that's just saying that he's available to DJ wherever. I mean, his mail comes to Atlanta,
right.
But you're available to DJ wherever the universe or the wind takes you.
Right.
You're willing to do that.
Exactly.
So how can people, now that we've gotten more listeners, people are listening, people know, how can people listen to what you do? Where can they find you? You have a website?
Very easy, tambourparty.com.
Okay.
Is where all the latest information is, where the latest parties are. If you want to listen to my mixes,
yes,
then you can go to handsonradio.com. I've been doing a 2-hour show there for the last 6 years.
Every Tuesday,
2:30 to 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. And my mixes are always on SoundCloud and Mixcloud.
Yes.
Stan Zeff.
All right.
So mixcloud.com, soundcloud.com/Stan Zeff, STANZEFF.
Shouts out to Hands on Radio. A lot of great DJs that are on there. They're actually
Definitely.
listening to the show right now. I know a whole bunch.
Junior T.
Junior
big up.
Junior T, Andrew Marriott, Drew's House,
Right.
Quiet Boy, who that was his track.
The track that you just heard for the break was a new track from Quiet Boy that's going to be coming out on Tambour Music.
Awesome.
Yeah. Nice
Awesome.
heavy track. It's going to be
OG. I mean, it's a bunch of people. I've not met them, but I've listened to all of them. I'm a Hands on Radio.
Yeah. OG, love his music. Always playing.
Good, solid.
Good, solid guy. Good, solid producer.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So Hands on Radio, SoundCloud, Mixcloud, website, Then the party. Tell me where you're going to be. You got some things going on?
Yes,
Where you gonna
next
be?
party is going to be November the 19th in Brooklyn, New York.
With whom?
With it's going to be at Analog.
Yes.
With probably one of the best sound systems in New York right now by Shorty.
Nice.
And it's going to be with Jelly Bean Benitez. Okay, it's his birthday party. And also Tyron Francis.
Yes.
From KNY.
Nice. That's going to be
it's
epic.
It's going to be a nice party.
Very nice party.
10 p.m. till 6 a.m.
I
Can be going all night.
I want to go.
Yeah.
I can't get a flight.
And then after that, you can still go. Can break into that savings plan you've got. Oh, I won't mention it. And 26th of November is a party here in Atlanta, the Tamble Party. It's going to be our holiday party.
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to be at the Wild Pitch nightclub.
255 Trinity
Avenue.
in Atlanta.
Downtown Atlanta.
And that's where you can bring your soles, your sneakers, right? You do that every year with
Every year
Shanae
for
Webb.
the holiday party, we do. We collaborate with Souls for Souls.
Yes.
It's a charity that gives our old shoes to people